Hello Creatures fans, it's time for the second video. I'm not looking forward to this one actually. I like interfering with the Norns. Most people do, it's why we enjoy this game. So this Norn's going to be pretty much left on its own to defend itself. Now what I'm going to do is turn the hand invisible. You see it's transparent now? Now the Norn I hatch out will not be able to see the hand at all. I'll still be able to interact with things, but the Norn won't be able to see the hand, so it will get no stimulus from the hand at all. I'll be giving it no tickles, no slaps, nothing. I will be activating this computer a few times, just to teach the Norn its words. It won't teach it how to use things, or what's good, what's bad. It's just to let people know what it's thinking, and what its needs are. So we'll hatch out this little Norn. Fingers crossed we don't have another aqua. Oh, beautiful pink Norn. Let's bring up the science kit. She seems good. DNA. DNA seems pretty good. Let me just have a look at the stimuli again. Oh, pointer slaps me. See, she has only got punishment. She hasn't got all the other things. And again, she's only got reward. These are the main differences I get through my Norns. Now, let's pop up her eye view. I have got her selected. You see, I moved that. She was able to see it. I shouldn't do that. They do notice things when they're moving. There you go. She's had a drink. I want to give her a tickle then. So she's learnt about food. About drink, at least. Let me bring up... Where is it? Let's bring up the science kit. So we've got a very hungry Norn at the moment. And she doesn't know what to do. She's currently sticking her backside up in the air. Let's give her a name. And of course, what else can we name her but... Oh. Pinkie Pie. So let's have a look at her family. Hyacinth. Now Hyacinth is one of my favourite Norns. I know it's spelt wrong, but I've had her for a long time and I didn't know how to spell the name. She's one of my best Norns. She's, again, pink as she is, and she's a very, very smart Norn. She's always one of the Norns I have in my wolfing runs, just because she does so well. She's a very good breeder as well. Now, this Norn still has not picked up any food yet. She still has not eaten at all. So if we look at the science kit again. Yep, her hunger's right at the top. She doesn't know what... There we go, she's just eaten. That's her first taste of food, and she'll have learnt that brought down her food, so she should hopefully be drawn to food a little more. Let's give a little bit here. She's looking at the toy at the moment. Now she's looking at the computer. As you can see, they're drawn to different things. If it moves, if it makes noise, if it activates, they're drawn to sort of things that notice. See, she's pressing the buttons now. Just like a baby, they will bite things, push things, anything they can think of in order to test it out, whether it's food, whether they can do anything with her. Again, she doesn't know how to push the toys yet. She doesn't know what they do. They're just a thing at the moment. She's still not overly confident on food, even though she's taken a bite. She's had sort of no tickles, no sort of increased reward over eating. She's just looking at the bat at the moment. Bats are one of the animals that come out at night. Although we don't change any lighting or any sort of scripts, there is a day and night cycle. See, she's learning some of her words. And at the moment you can see her eyes is just wandering all these different places. She knows that there's something wrong. She knows that she's hungry, but she doesn't know what that means. So she's just trying anything and everything, just to try and work out what it is that's upsetting her. As you can see, her facial expression keeps changing from sad to happy to angry. She's just very, very confused. Now, I'll bring up the science kit again. Now, you can see her loneliness is right at the bottom. It's not going up at all. That's again because of her breeding. My Norns that I breed, you'll notice that they've all got a particular sort of look, particularly the Hebe head, and then the fluffy tail of, I think it's the white pixie Norn from the C1. I like that look, so I tend to breed those. Oh, she's just given up. She doesn't know what to do at all. You can see she's just very, very confused. She doesn't know what goes on. Compared to my other Norn, who hatched out, who was happily eating, drinking, sleeping. This one just, she's had no lessons at all what she should be doing. So you can see how very different it is between a Norn that's taught, yes, eating's good, yes, drinking's good, yes, sleeping's good. She's just very, very confused. There we go, she's taken another bite of food. But again, she's had no extra sort of influence that that is a good thing. So her food does go down. See, her hunger's here now. Oh, that was just a doozer, don't worry about that. Hunger has gone down. And you can see it steadily goes down. She's basically digesting it. You see, she's picking up the toys, but she doesn't know what to do with them. She doesn't know the action of push toy. She hasn't tried it out yet. In fact, she's probably tried to eat him a few times. Oh, she tried to take a little nap then. Now, when a Norn has got other drives high, it's very difficult for them to sleep. If you're hungry, it's very difficult for you to sleep. There we go. She's just had her first little nap. If we take a look at the science kit again. Her sleepiness is the purple. That's gone right down. Now her hunger's nice and low at the moment because of that bit of food she ate. Now, like I said, Hyacinth is one of my favourite Norns. She's a very good learner and she's part of a long line of feral runners. So, generally her drives are fairly slow to go up. She's able to take care of herself very well. But it's very surprising even to me watching the difference between her and her daughter here, who has had absolutely no help or stimulus. I think bad dad is what's that. I think do fruits, possibly eat fruit, or it might be push fruit. So yeah, she's looking at the food, now she's looking at the doozer. I think she's still trying to work out what it is she can actually do with the food. There we go, she's carrying one around at the moment. Now, as you can see, the food is growing. Creatures does have an actual ecosystem. There you go, she's eating. That's a good bit of nutritious food, and she's learning now. You see, she's starting to pick up more food, more food. It's just getting into her head now. The rewards that she's getting for eating the food, decreased hunger, are starting to add up, and she's starting to link between being hungry and eating food. Now you can see how much slower that has been. If we bring up the breeder's kit, You can see she's 8 minutes old, and it's taken her that long to work out, I'm hungry, I should eat food. And now she's having a drink. Now this would be very different using a Norn straight from the hatchery. Norns from the hatchery who've not got sort of Pinkie Pie's bloodline they'd get very lonely very quickly, which is why I put in her science kit the loneliness up. She gets her loneliness going down just picking up toys, little bits and pieces. It doesn't take very much for her to feel happy and social. There we go, she's playing with the slinky. She's learned how to push a toy now. She's looking a little sad. Let's have a look at what it is that's upsetting her at the moment. She's getting a bit sleepy. That probably got her tiredness up a bit as well. She didn't sleep all that long. She's having a look at the water, and she's picked that up now. But yes, you can see she's not as happy as the other Norn. She's not quite sort of working out what's going on. It's taken her a lot longer, which is putting her at a disadvantage. However, she is still learning. It's taken her a longer time, but it's getting there. So yeah, these fruits will spring up and grow. I can pick up, say, a tomato here, plant it there, and that will rot down and start producing a new plant if she doesn't decide to eat it, that is. She's looking at the ball now. Now this here, this half-eaten tomato, this is actually now not good for her. It becomes detritus, I think it's pronounced. She's learned how to use the fountain now. It basically it's rotting fruit, and as I'm sure you all know, biting into a nice furry apple isn't very tasty or very good for you. There you can see that's rotting down now. There are ants about, mostly in another area, and they will pick up sort of half-eaten food and rotting things, take it back to their nest, and they will sort of clear it up. The only thing is that they themselves will become not very good to eat for the Norns, but they're only classed as bugs, I think. So those Norns that decide, oh, I quite like a tasty bug, if they try and eat one of the ants, they can actually get a little bit sick. She's having a look at the fruit now that's starting to take root. I don't think she can actually pick that up though. So if we hover over that, it's still classed as fruit. She's having a look at the honey now. You see, she's not eaten any food yet. She doesn't know what food is at all. She knows what fruit is. She's eaten fruit and she's tried fruit. But she does not know what food is at all. So you can see the difference again when I said about knowing what food is and knowing what fruit is are two separate categories. She's having a look at the clouds. So again, we'll bring up the science kit. She's keeping her needs quite low, which is quite understandable with her breeding. She just banged her head. You see the pain icon going up? And she's doing a little bit of a pain walk. You're bending your arm very funny. But yeah, she will likely now just stay with eating fruit and drinking. She's just grown to child now. You see, she's much bigger. She's just trying to pick that up now, but that's starting to grow. As you can see, you've got another plant coming out of it. Well, I'm very glad Pinkie Pie is one of Hyacinth's baby. It's at least meant that I don't have to worry about her killing herself. Now, something I didn't mention before, all of these Norns, when I export them at 20 minutes old, will be saved and they will be copied. So, after I've raised all 4 of the Norns, or let them raise themselves as the case may be, I will be putting them all in a folder, zipping it up, and I will be putting it up for people to download. Quite likely, I will be sending it over to the Creatures Community Spirit Festival 2011 over at Creature Caves. Oh, that was a lovely frontal shot there. Now, there are quite a few people that have made completely new breeds of Norns. A few of you might be wondering how they do that. I will be covering the other breeds of Norns, including Mer-Norns, which are, as they sound, little mermaids, as well as Unicorn Norns. There are a lot of different breeds. Now, in order to make a Norn, you have to take all of the sprites that make up the picture, and you edit them however you want, whether it's just changing their colour or completely redoing the whole thing. Those that are really sort of in depth, say with the Mer-Norns, will have to completely rechange the gait poses, which is how they position their joints. I think she's pulling faces at us at the moment. Now, all of these expressions, all of these hand poses and ages and everything, all require a completely different sprite. So you can imagine just how many pictures go into making a single Norn, and you've got both males and females. So if you do want a very, very big art project, you could always try making your own little creature. Let's bring up the science kit again. Need for pleasure's gone up. Sleepiness is up at the moment. She just banged her head again. She's looking at the fruit again. So yeah, quite likely when we put them all together again, you will... Oh, she's having a look at the honey. Is she going to try and eat it? Nope, she's playing with the ball. But yeah, quite likely we'll see her only eating fruit and not paying much attention to the food at all. Whether she then sees the other Norns eating the fruit and she then tries it will be an interesting little experiment as well. She's taking a nap. Always cheers them up taking a nice nap. So bring up the science kit again. See, sleepiness has dropped straight down. Now, while she's sleeping, if we can get it in time, no we can't. There is also activity still going on in the brain while they're sleeping. So they do sort of dream. They're still getting sort of stimuli in their brains and they're still acting on it. She's looking up at the cloud at the moment. So let's have a quick look at her age. She's 18 minutes old, so we're almost at the end of this. She's still a child. I wasn't expecting her to grow up too quickly. Hyacinth has always been a very steady ager. And so have her babies. So we've got a little blue girl and a little pink girl. Oh, she's tried a little bit of honey. That should... you can see the honey has actually disappeared now. This is now an empty pot, so I will need to take that over and fill it up at one of the beehives, much like in C1 if you've seen any of Jessica's videos on Discover Albania. Oh, she's going to try for the honey again. Nope, she's going for the ball. So yeah, she will definitely show a preference to the honey, to the fruit as opposed to the honey. Whereas you saw with Sky, she was quite happy to eat either. There was no sort of preference at all. Now these fish here, these are also edible. These will give a fair amount of protein, and they're very good for Norns. However, they're a bit difficult for them to get a hold of. There is a fishing rod up here which can be activated and will catch a fish, but it's very awkward to activate. Mostly the fish are mainly sort of feeding any aquatic Norns that you've got, which there are. Aquatic Norns can actually develop within your system. It's very difficult, but it can happen, where the Norn will actually be able to gain oxygen even if they're in the water. See, there's a fish being caught. I will pop that back in. I don't want to sort of spoil anything there. Now, if we have a look at her breeder's kit, yep, she's 20 minutes old, so we'll go ahead and export her. And there we go. So that's Pinkie Pie. As you can see, it was a very different setup. She took almost 8 minutes to learn that fruit, at least, was a good thing to eat. And she was very confused at first. She didn't know what to go for. So hopefully that's sort of taught you that, yes, they might be able to take care of themselves at times, but it takes a lot longer for them to do so. So, the next up, we will be hatching these two last little eggs. Hopefully we'll get a boy in one of them, so we're able to breed from our group. If not, I will have to add a male Norn from our feral run that's going on sort of down below in the grove at the moment, in the volcano. So yeah, I'll see you next time.